Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today we're going to talk about these 6 major homeschool things that I just don't do. And this is probably going to be a shock to some of you that I don't do these things. If it is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found my channel and our community. Make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button because it really does help me and my channel out. So, I want to have a little bit of a disclaimer here. I'm not knocking you if you actually do these things. It's just me personally, I don't do these things, or I have no desire to do these things, or I don't have time to do these things. And I'm just trying to basically say, if you don't do these things, there's nothing wrong with you, and your kids are still going to get a quality education at home with you, even if you don't do these things. That there's nothing wrong with you. Because sometimes I feel a little bit alone because I don't do some of these things on the list. Like I kind of feel like a little bit of an outsider and a rebel because I just don't have a desire to do them and we don't do them. Because of sometimes family situations and work schedules and things like that, a lot of these things are just extras and they're not a requirement for you to be a homeschool parent. So especially in the first couple of years and when you start joining these Facebook groups, it's almost like a cultural thing in the homeschool world. And I know from experience that you can kind of feel a little bit left out of the club, of the cool kids club, when you don't do some of these things. So I have 6 things on this list and I'm going to go over them with you guys. And if you don't do them, please tell me down in the comments so I don't feel so alone like I'm sitting at the table by myself. Okay. All right, let's go over them. My first one is co-ops. Co-ops are just not my thing. They're not my kids' thing. We've never done them and we've had no desire to do them, and I don't have time to do them. A lot of this is commitment, and with my illness and with me working at home, having a day or 2 a week set aside for a co-op at a specific time would not do well with me and my family situations, just because I can't commit to something like that because sometimes I feel different on different days with my illness. And there are sometimes my kids, they just want to do school and get it done. They want to work independently, which I totally get because I'm the same way. They get that from me. But I don't want to drag it out and do co-ops with other groups. Not to mention, there's just not a whole lot of co-ops in my area, at least not Christian co-ops. And I think the only thing that we would consider a co-op would be maybe for science. And that's something that I definitely want to have in the Christian spectrum, just because we do creation science here at home. We use apologia books. And I'm not saying that I would totally say absolutely not if, a group of my friends was doing one, but it would be a lot harder for my family to commit to something like that. Number 2, morning basket. I don't do morning basket, you guys. I know it's like the thing I do, like I totally get that, but I just don't do morning basket. My kids, like I said before, they just want to do school and get it done. They don't really want to drag it out and do extra things. So I try to honor that with them, and we just don't do morning basket. I don't see the point in doing morning basket. It's just, a lot of times with morning basket, it's just extra stuff with us. We already have a Bible curriculum. We already do family Bible stuff. It's just not our thing. All right, number 3, I feel so bad saying this, nature walks. We do not do nature walks at all. We tried it, okay? Like, we tried it. It's just, I have older boys and they're just like, no. You guys, I'm kind of like so embarrassed about this. We do Charlotte Mason style homeschool, and a lot of the Charlotte Mason stuff, we just, like nature walks, it just does not work well with my crew. Now, my youngest, I will say he loves like bugs and flowers and plants and things like that, and I don't worry about him not doing nature walks because he goes outside on his own and like pretty much just does it himself. So there's really no need for me to like have extra specific time set out for nature walks, because I mean we practically live in the woods where I live, so nature is in our front and backyard. So he does it all on his own. I don't have to worry about that. My older one, he's just like, no. He would much rather do like a chemistry type style like science program. He's more like hands-on technical, where my youngest, he's more into the bugs and the animals and things like that. And my youngest just does it on his own. Okay, so number 4, poetry tea time. We just don't do it. I did not even bring it up to my crew because I already know what they would do if I even brought that up. They would look at me like I was insane. You guys, my boys are 10 and 13, okay? It's not gonna happen in my house. They already despise poetry just because they're boys and they're in that, like, they're in that phase. You know, my older is starting to come around a little bit to poetry. We still study poetry in our actual grammar curriculum, but it's not their favorite at all. If anything would have to go in English or language arts, they would definitely hands down both pick poetry. Now they've learned it, they understand it, they can recite it, and we do go through it, but they would not want to spend extra time talking about it and discussing it, even if snacks were involved. So that's just not going to happen at my house. It's not their favorite thing, so I don't fight it. I just don't fight it, you guys. Next, I get asked this every single year, and it makes me feel kind of like the kid that doesn't do anything, and I feel really bad about it, but we don't really have any first day traditions. We do a picture, like we take a picture every day on the first day of school. You guys have seen that look on my Instagram and stuff. My Instagram handle is down below, guys, if you want to follow me there. But we do not have like the big breakfast or anything like that. And again, you know, I work and I do all kinds of things. Yes, we do school when we do school, but we haven't found any like back to school traditions that we just really like. And a lot of times I make cool breakfasts like throughout the year. So like having a special breakfast would not be like a thing to them because they're so much older, we don't do a lot of like cereal and oatmeal in the morning. We have like breakfast sandwiches and pancakes and waffles and things like that. Like throughout the week, I make a lot of stuff like on the weekends, and they eat it throughout the week. So to them, you know, we just haven't found anything that's really stuck. Maybe if we find something in the future, if you have a cool one, leave it down below. Especially if you have older kids, like help me out here. If you have older kids, what do you do? Do you have any traditions, or do you just start school? I feel like such a lame mom sometimes, you guys. The last one is probably the most embarrassing, and that's why I saved it to the last one, because a lot of you don't watch all the way to the end. Just real talk, guys. Library visits. Again, it's a time thing. It's a time thing, honestly. So instead of going to the library, because here, see, this is what happens. This is what happens, you guys, with library visits, with the way that my life is set up right now. If we go to the library and we have books, we may not get to those books by the time I have to turn them back in. And then they're going to be late. And then I'm going to be stressing out and having anxiety about going back to the library to give them all of the books. So we just don't do it. If I order my books in a 6-week rotation, basically, because we do the book basket with My Father's World, they have like a book list in the back of the teacher's manual, and I just pre-buy them used on thrift books because 1, it's cheap, 2, it's easy, and 3, I don't have to return them. And that's just, guys, that's just real life. That's just like real me talking here. I'm not going to sugarcoat things because I'm just a real life working mom at home, and I run a SEO agency during the day, and I don't have time for extra fluff sometimes. So things like library visits just don't happen. Now we do take field trips, and we do study, and we do, when it's school time, we concentrate on school time, and I make sure that happens. However, a lot of these extra things, they're just fluff, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad homeschool parent if you don't do these things, okay? you're not alone. If you don't do these things, I don't do these things, and I really don't feel bad about it, to be honest with you. I just don't, because I know my kids are getting a quality education, I know they're learning, and I know they're happy. And that's what matters to me at the end of the day, is that they're learning and they're happy. So tell me down below, if you made it to this point in the video, what things do you not do that's on this list and that's not on this list? I totally want to know, because I'm tired of sitting at the table by myself. Let me know. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you leave them down below, and I will do my best to get back to them as soon as possible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.